My head itches. I took a shower yesterday and let it air dry. And now it's like crazy. I'm not happy. Oh, my nose is running. Hold on. That look okay at least? Can you look at that for a minute? No, I can't. Hold on. I don't know why my nose runs so much. Is that normal when you get old? Because that's what it is. I'm old. And I feel like my nose is always running. Always. It's like dripping out. I'll be talking to someone at the store, at the bank, at the whatever. And sure enough, we'll get to talking, and all of a sudden I'm like, hey, my nose is running. Do you have a tissue? Okay, well, that's as good as it's gonna get today, people. Maybe I can bring it up higher. Not. Nobody's looking at these fucking things anyway. Except for me. Hopefully, in like, 40 years, when I'm close to dead, I'll look back and I'll think, God, I thought life was so tough then. I hope not. I don't want to go through any more. Lord, I am done. I am done with my I'm done with those lessons that drop you to your knees. I don't know if anybody's ever had one of those. I've had multiple. But like, life is fine, and then something happens, and it literally drops you to your feet. I have a thing on my for my hernia, because I'm old. Isn't that lovely? Anyway. When life drops you to your feet, it's generally grief, the loss of someone, the loss of a job, an accident, some sort of traumatic incident. Look, I'll show you. I have had 6 or 7 abdominal surgeries, 6 abdominal surgeries, trying to have 1 abdominal surgery having a child, 5 abdominal surgeries that were either exploratory or cleaning stuff up were out. And then the 7th was my hysterectomy. And he's still left an ovary in, the gynecologist. And I'm wondering if that's not why I have like these manic moments of crying. And anyway, hormones are a motherfucker. I probably shouldn't say that. I mean, I really don't give a shit. I'm not looking to get, what are they, monetized. Fuck them. Fuck these glasses. I'm gonna get new fucking glasses. These are my see, I have my contacts in, so I can see just fine. Well, I can see kind of just fine, like far away. I'm moving my contact so I can see. And somebody told me recently that when I talk, I'm talking out the side of my mouth. Like I talk out the side of my mouth or something like this. And he said it was, maybe I mentioned this before, and he said it was like, tweaker status or some shit. Which, I mean, dear God. So now I'm conscious of it, like like hyper conscious. So those are purple. Those are red. Purple. Those are red. I don't like those any better. All right, here we go, fuckers. When I open my eyes wide, I look crazy. No wonder people are like, crazy bitch. Crazy bitch, but you fuck so good, I'm on top of it. I said, hey. I can't think who sings that. Okay, page 232. The Baron Trump collection. What was that? Mind hath ordered, now let hands obey, I exclaimed as I sprang up and began stripping off my outer garments. This done, I clambered up on the side of the funnel and began to collect a supply of the black lead, which I deposited near the opening of the pipe. The next thing to do was to get Bulger through the pipe ahead of me. To this end, I tied him up in my clothing, bag fashion, and began to lower away. After paying out 65 or 70 feet of line, he struck bottom, and by his loud barking gave me to understand that it was all right. It's like almost too much. Okay, he paid out the line, Bulger struck bottom, and now Baron's dissenting upon himself, or, whatever. Upon hearing his voice, I gave the line of a few sharp tugs. He was not slow to comprehend my meaning, and in a moment or so had not only scrambled out of the bag himself, but pulled my clothing loose so that I might draw the line up again. My next step was to contrive a way to weight myself when the moment arrived to begin my descent, for I felt sure that I should never be able to arrange it so as to slip through the pipe unless something was pulling at my heels. Cutting off about 10 feet of rope, I made fast one end of the piece to a long piece of rock, weighing about 100 pounds. This I laid near the mouth of the pipe, ready for use. But hey! You be nice. Why? When you bark, Luna barks. You're just fine. Thank you. I'm in the middle of reading. Oops. Sorry. We had a mild dog deal. Okay. Where was I? Stop. There, he wants to play with little dog, but he really wants to eat it. Cutting off about 10 feet of rope, I made fast one end of the piece to a long piece of rock weighing about 100 pounds. This I laid near the mouth of the pipe, ready for use. But now came the most difficult thing of all. It was to draw my shoulders in on my breast and lash them securely in that position, by which plan I expected to reduce my width by at least 2 good inches. These 2 inches thus gained, or rather lost, might be the means by which I would be able to slip through the pipe of Polyphemus's funnel and reach the vast underground passage leading to the world within a world. Putting a noose around my chest just below my collarbone, I drew my shoulders in as tight as I could bear and changed the slip knot into a hard one. Then, having made the other end of the line fast to the side of the funnel, I proceeded to wind myself up as the housewives often do, a big sausage to keep it from bursting. This done, I set about rolling in the black lead until I thoroughly smeared in it. Who knows what that weirdo is doing? The dog. There was now but one thing more to do before dropping myself into the pipe, and that was to make fast the weight of my feet. It was no easy task, wound up as I was, with my arms lashed down against my body, but the use of slip knots I finally accomplished the feat, and sitting down put my legs into the pipe and drew a long breath, for I felt as if I skewered up in a straitjacket. for I felt as if I was skewered up in a straitjacket. Bending down, I called out to Bulger. He answered with a yelp of joy that brought fresh vigor to my heart. Now was come the supreme moment, which was to witness success or failure. Failure! Oh, what a dread world is that! And yet how often must human lips pronounce it, and in so doing, breathe out the sigh with which it ends. Quickly lowering the weight, I wriggled off the edge of the opening and straightened myself out as I slipped into the pipe. Had I stopped it like a cork, or was I moving? Yes, down, gently, slowly, noiselessly. I went slipping through the pipe to Polyphemus's funnel. What did I care how that weight caused the line to cut into my ankles? I was moving. I was drawing nearer and nearer to Bulger, whose joyous bark I could hear now and then, nearer to the inner gates of the world within a world. But woe is me. I suddenly stopped, and in spite of all my efforts to start again by twisting, turning, and shaking my body, it refused to sink another inch, and there I stick. O Bulger, Bulger, I moan, faithful friend, if thou couldst but reach me, one tug from thee might save thy little master. In a sort of wild and desperate way, I now began to feel about me as well as I could with my hands wedged in so close to my sides. But in a moment or so, I had discovered the cause of my coming to such a sudden standstill. I had struck a portion of the pipe that had a thread to it, like that which encircles a bolt of iron and makes a screw of it. And the thought came to me that if I could only succeed in giving a revolving motion to my body, I would with every turn twist myself further down toward the end of the pipe. I could feel that my knuckles and fingertips were being bruised and lacerated by this arduous work, but what cared I for the keen pain that darted from hands to wrists and wrists to elbows? It was like twisting a screw slowly through a long nut, only the thread in this case was on the nut and the grooves in the screw, and that screw was my poor bruised little body. All of a sudden, by swinging of the weight, I could tell that it had passed out the lower end of the pipe. It was pulling cruelly hard on my tender ankles, but I could twist myself no more. My strength was gone. I was at the point of swooning when I heard Bulger utter a loud yelp, and the next instant there was such a strong tug at my ankles that I sent forth a groan, but that tug saved me. It was Bulger who had leaped into the air and, catching the rope in his teeth, had dragged his little master out of the pipe of Polyphemus's funnel. We all fell into the same heap, Bulger and I, and the weight, fully 10 feet and very serious, might have been the consequences for me had my fall not been broken by my striking on the pile of my clothing placed directly under the opening. And dear friends, if you talked into the crack of doom, you could not make me believe that my 4-footed brother hadn't placed those clothes there to catch me. They weren't thrown higgledy-piggledy into a heap either, but they were laid one upon the other, the heaviest at the bottom. Having unwound myself and lighted one of my wax tapers, I made haste to cast away the undergarment with its coating of black lead and resume my clothing. Then, stooping down, I made an examination of the floor. It was composed of huge blocks of marble of various colors, polished almost as smooth as if the hand of man had wrought the work. And then I knew I was on nature's marble highway, leading to the cities of the underworld, with which Don Fume had mentioned in his book. And I remembered, too, that he had spoken of nature's mighty mosaics, huge fantastic figures on the walls of these lofty corridors, made up of various colored blocks and fragments laid one upon the other, as if with design, and not by the wild, tempestuous whims of upbursting forces thousands of years ago, when the earth was in its mad, wayward youth. After a rest of several hours, during which I nursed my torn hands and bruised fingers, Bulger and I were up and off again along this broad and glorious marble highway. Strange to say, it was not the inky darkness of the ordinary cavern which filled these magnificent chambers, through which the marble highway went winding and stately in massive grandeur. Far from it. The gloom was tempered by a faint glow that met us on the way ever and anon, like a ray of twilight gone astray. Anyway, Bulger, I noticed, could see perfectly well, so tying a bit of twine to his collar, I sent him on ahead, and convinced that I could have no surer guide. Okay. That was our 10 minutes today, kids. We're going to start there tomorrow. That's where we ended. And we got, because I got stopped. That's why. Okay. So, I need to slip. That's the whole point. This hernia is not allowed. Anyway. Quit procrastinating on anything and everything. Time wasted is just that, wasted. Avoid distractions and the noise around me. Block it out. The art of continuous self-love through food, through water intake, through intentional meditation and thought. Something inside of me is superior to circumstance. Is it kind? Is it true? Does it reflect my authentic self? Focus more on money and its education. Focus more on self-discipline. See the sun, honor the moon. Forward momentum. The path out of hell is through misery. Honor my journey. I am a slave to my own incessant urge to escape the present moment. Meditate, walk, journal, stretch, love animals. Leave life to wonder all it needs. Less stress, more fairy tale. More fairy tale. Work on bettering the love I show my body through the food and beverage I put in it. With money, it's not what you make, but what you keep. Focus. Lose any ties to victim mentality. Continue to help yourself. Amen. Okay. Till tomorrow, friends.